Paddy Pimblett versus Bobby Green is happening at UFC 304. Who's actually going to win this fight? Well, before we talk about who's going to win this fight, let's take a look at their latest performances in which Paddy Pimblett fought Jared Gordon. Very close fight. Both went back and forth. Both had some great shots and kicks, but Paddy Pimblett outlanded Jared Gordon and ended up taking it by decision. At this, Paddy Pimblett went out to fight Tony Ferguson, in which Paddy Pimblett dropped Tony Ferguson in round 1, had a lot of ground control, won every single round, and Paddy Pimblett ended up taking it by decision. Now let's take a look at Bobby Green's latest performances in which he fought Jalen Turner, in which Jalen Turner knocked out Bobby Green in round 1. Now after this, Bobby Green went out to fight at UFC 300 against Jim Miller, in which Jim Miller robbed Bobby Green in round 1, but then Bobby Green brought it back, took control of the whole entire fight, and even dropped Jim Miller in round 3, and obviously Bobby Green ended up taking it by decision.
Now here's the thing about this fight. I believe that there should be somewhat of a clear winner in this fight, and that is simply because one of these fighters has a lot more advantages than the other, and that's Paddy Pimblett, because first of all, he's the younger fighter, as he is 29 years old and Bobby Green is 37 years old. And when you look at their list of fights, you'll see that Paddy Pimblett's on a 7-fight winning streak and Bobby Green has struggled a bit to stay consistent with his performances. But then you could argue that Bobby Green has struggled with his performances simply because he has been way more active, as he had 4 fights in 2023 and 1 fight this year. Meanwhile, Paddy Pimblett only had 1 fight in 2023, which was in December, and his previous fight was also in December but in 2022. So his latest 2 fights have been exactly 1 year apart, so he definitely has that disadvantage when talking about who's been way more active. But how can this fight actually go? Well, I do believe that it could be a pretty even fight when it comes to fighting on feet, considering both men's fighting style, but it's really just going to come down to who could put the more pressure on the other fighter, causing the other fighter to be more hesitant. So in the end, if it's a standing match, I believe that whoever could put on some good pressure while at the same time not getting too reckless could have a good chance at winning this fight. But I would like for Paddy Pimblett to win this fight, since Bobby Green is ranked number 15, so if Paddy Pimblett wins, he enters the rings.